Brightest Blessings, this is Raven, and today we are going to finish off our Imbolc journal by making this folio. So it is actually Imbolc today, so blessings to every one of you. I've been busy sorting the journal out and trying to get some form of a folio put together. Now, I'm not going to give you measurements because this has been hodgepodged together in order to fit the journal. I've added like what I would call a messy dangle. So it's sort of boho-y. There's strands hanging off, there's buttons and beads and goodness knows what else. And I've put a little pentagram on there. I found some other bits of ephemera that I've shoved in there too. We'll have a flip through at the end. So I made this basically using a green file folder that's quite thin, and then I've obviously backed it. Now, the way I've done it is to use, let me just get the file folder. So it's one of these, it's this make that I've got off Amazon. These are really quite thin and they're perfect for making folios. By the time you've added your backing papers and things, it thickens it up enough to hold it together. Okay, so essentially for the base I've used pretty much, oh sorry, I will just say quickly, it's quite late at night now, as in nearly 11 o'clock at night. So if you hear snoring, it's not me, it's the dogs, okay? Anyway, I've used one side of a file folder, and I actually did this in parts. So this is one part, and then this flap is a separate part. You could technically do the whole thing together and then just cut this round, and then I've scored in certain places. So I've gone for a 1/2 inch spine, a slightly smaller spine where the closure is, and then this I haven't used file folder, it's just a tip-in extra piece. The reason I liked this idea was that it's easy for everybody to make. It's not difficult at all. I've just covered it in whatever material I wanted to use. So this is some backing paper that looks like canvas that I use, and this is some artwork from the Natty+Moon kit. As is this, I've put a secret belly band on there ready so that I know that that's done. All of the other pieces for the folio are here and ready. We're going to put those in together, and then I've got all of this ephemera here that we're going to try and stuff in it. And if it doesn't fit in there, we'll shove it in the journal, and it's going to be truly chunky monkey. The only thing that I cannot do on this video is put the closure on, because I've lost my Velcro dots. I have looked everywhere and I cannot find them anywhere. So I'm going to have another look around at some point. Actually, I say that and they're right here in my little pouch. So we can do that. Never mind. All I'm going to do is put a Velcro dot there. I'm going to leave this plain, and there is one pocket at the back, but I wanted to leave this plain so whoever gets this journal and folio, they can decorate it if they want to decorate it more. So first things first, I've got all my bits and pieces. Now you can put yours together however you want to put it together. This is why I haven't put any measurements in. The most important thing is remembering to put some spines or gussets in. So this tip-in has got a tiny millimetre gusset, because by the time I've put pockets and things in here, it's going to bulk out a bit. So the idea being that this end is slightly thinner than this end, so I can put a lot of the bulk this side of the folio and not so much this side. Okay, and then I've obviously inked all the way around where I want ink, and that's it. Bob's your uncle. The inside is really down to you. whether you want to put something like a hidden belly band, or you want to put extra pockets, or change what I've done. The point of making a folio is that you experiment, and I don't like to have a set guideline for how to make a folio because I want it to be different every time. So we've got this here, open that, we've then got 3 sections. Yeah, we'll start with this section first, which is, where are you? That's the back. It's disappeared off the face of the planet. There it is. It's just this large pocket here. Okay. So let's stick this one on. Now I've printed mine on my brochure paper that I've told you guys about before, because it really makes the colours pop. Okay, while we're doing that, I'll stick this on the back, which is that one. And then I know that's done. And the majority of this was actually printed on scraps of paper. You just want to make sure you're not going over your spines, which is another reason why it's good to ink before you start gluing some of these things down. Right, this middle section, I've got lots of bits for this middle section. Right, I want to have flippies. Okay, so we're going to put the flips on. And I want mine, sorry if my head gets in shot, guys. I want to leave a little bit of a gap at the top. So we've got one flippy. And then at the bottom, flippy again. Again, this is all paper from the Natty+Moon kit. Again, I want a little bit of a gap. Okay, so we got flips. Now you could put a closure on here if you wanted to. I'm not going to bother, but you could certainly put them on if you wanted to. So now those are glued down, I've got 4 pockets. I'm trying to remember which way, that way. Right, I want to have, I'll do the candle ones first. I want a normal tuck pocket at the bottom, and then I want a downward tuck pocket at the top. Okay, so I can put things up. Now again, totally up to you. You don't have to do this at all. If I wasn't going to put these pockets on, I would have put these down before I put this backing. So that just covers up our little flap. And same again at the bottom. Sorry again, guys, if my head gets in shot, I want to make sure it's lined up. Okay, so we've got our 2 flaps. We can open that up and we've got an up tuck and a normal pocket at the bottom. I've then got these 2 pockets. Again, all offcuts from the kit. So essentially, when you lift this up, your pocket, you want to be here. And this pocket, when you fold down, you want to be here. Now, obviously, I'm going to have to go round and double check that I've got all this lined up, because I probably haven't. but we can do that in a minute. So yes, when that flips back up, this will be upside down, but when it's all fully open, it won't be. Same again here. I'm just using art glitter glue because it's my favourite. It dries quick and it's very strong. So in the middle then, that's what we've got. So technically 4 pockets and the flips, okay? And that would close over that, like that. This side, I've got some flappies. Now, the flappies are going to be a little bit more tricky to do because I want them to close a certain way. But I also want the image to line up. So it's going to take a little bit of finesse, but we'll get there. And just make sure that that's straight along there. Okay, we've got one. Now again, I could put closures on this if I wanted to. It just so happens that, to be honest, I can't be bothered with all of that. I don't need closures on it. I'm just gonna, now that other one's in place, this one's gonna be a lot easier to get in the place that I need it. So I want the artwork to line up. But I also do not want to go into our little gusset this side. Okay. So now we've got flappies. Again, you could use these just as tucks if you wanted to. I've gone with this because it's similar to something Victoria Designs. One of her folios has a similar sort of pop out thing, and I quite like that idea. So this comes out. I'm leaving these plain because you could potentially journal on those. And then I've got 3 pockets. Okay, this one is smaller because it's going to be at the bottom, and then this one is at the top. So the idea of these pockets is to cover up the majority, not all, but the majority of our flaps. I've gone quite pocket heavy in this journal, well, folio, because I've got a lot of ephemera to get in. This is where I need to double check that this goes in the right place before I put the glue on. Right there. Now, obviously, if you don't want as many pockets as this, and you want to put a writing pad or something else in, there's no reason why you couldn't do that. I just wanted to put lots and lots of pockets in, so then there'd be lots of space to put ephemera. There we are. I'm going to do my glue up. So this isn't the most in-depth tutorial on how to make a folio, guys. And there is a reason for that. As I said, I'm a hodgepodge kind of person. I don't sit there and measure anything, ever. I literally pick things up and put it against something and think, yeah, that'll do. And that's it. But what I've tried to do is leave enough that you can see how I'm putting it together. Right, so now, when that closes, you can just about see in there that there's a little bit of space, but not lots and lots, okay? Before I go any further, I want to put my dots on, my dot rather. These ones are just from Amazon, and they're tiny little ones. And the key I find is to stick one side down, then stick the other, and then put that on like that, and then just give it a second. How fun is that? It was right in front of my face the whole time. I literally searched the whole bedroom thinking I've lost them somewhere. Okay. I'm just going to hold that down for a second. If it's not sticking, these are quite strong, but if it doesn't stick, use some art glitter glue and you'll be fine. So again, we've left this plain. You could put another pocket on or something if you wanted to. I'm quite happy with it how it is. I don't want it too much. I may, in fact I will, just put a bit more ink around the edge of this side of the flap. Because I don't actually think I did it. I thought I had. I'm just using Vintage Photo Distress oxide ink because I do prefer the oxides. The colours are better, I think. When you use the actual normal vintage photo ink, it's quite dark. It's dark but sort of liquidy, if that makes sense. A little bit see-through, whereas this isn't. It's more pigmented. So that is our basic folio, guys. So let's get filling. Let's start with this side. So we've got all these different bits of ephemera. So I've got some bits left from the kit, obviously. I then have found some of my ephemera from my shop. These ones are all from, is that it? Yeah, that's it. These ones are all from my Celtic mini journal that's on my Etsy. I've just shrunk them down to make them into ephemera. They are actual all journal pages, but I've shrunk them down. So the idea is you've got lots of space to journal. So we've got some bigger bits and some tiny, tiny bits. Pages from Natty+Moon's kit. I've shrunk down to make some little journal cards. I've got quite a few of those. Excuse me. Some leftover snowdrops. These are mine as well, from one of the first pagan kits on my Etsy. So I'm just sort of separating them out into whose is whose, for no other reason than I want to spread it out a little. It's another extra snowdrop, and I found another little Imbolc card there. Right, so we've got our hidden belly band. I'm thinking this needs a nice big piece. She looks marvellous there. We've got our big pocket here. Again, nice big piece. No, they go together too much, don't they? What about this one? Now again, feel free to add as much or as little as you want in yours. I'm going to stuff mine because that's how I like my folios. So we've got 4 pieces of ephemera just in that one pocket there. Little flaps, here we go. So we've got lots of these little tags and things. But you want to make sure that they're not gonna, I think that one will be, yeah, that one will be okay. And I want to make sure that you haven't got so much that it's not gonna fit properly. That one might be too tall. That one can go down there. Tiny tinies. I've got a couple of tiny ones. And they're all backed, so you could technically write on them if you wanted to. Not that you'd fit much on them. Maybe a snowdrop in there. I think everything else is going to be pretty much too big. I've got one more, a little stag there. There we go. So that's nicely filled. What's catching? Is it that? Yes. Okay. And then this is our last pocket bar, the back, which I think I'm going to put those in. I quite like things to stick out as well, so it doesn't bother me that these are going to stick out a little. Maybe put that one in the back and that one. And maybe that one. Okay, so that's that. Now again, I could put closures on that if I wanted to, but once it's closed, it's not a bother. Okay, so that is nicely filled now. I wouldn't want to put too much more in there. I mean, you could probably fit maybe another 20 pieces max throughout the whole thing. You could add a pockets on here. I could put another little pocket down there if I wanted to. I've got enough space in this spine to add another tip in. I could obviously add more in here, but I quite like the fact that she's on her own. And I think there's plenty in there as well. So let's add these to the back. Again, these are all backed with sticky paper. Some are printed, some are not. Some are just plain brown. Let's leave the candles sticking up there. And that little bit of blue pops out. So that's our folio, guys. How easy peasy was that? Super duper easy. And it didn't take me long to make, to be honest. Once I'd sort of figured out that I wanted like this envelope style, which is essentially what it is. It's an envelope in shape. It was just a case of covering everything. So nice and easy. Right, let's put this in the back. And that now sits there quite nicely without too many issues. I can stick that under, sorry guys, just stick that under the Velcro-y bit a little. And it's not going to go anywhere. You see, I'm not holding on to it. It's not going to go anywhere. But that's quite nice and chunky now. So again, we've got our dangly bits. I've just been flopping it over the top just to add a bit of interest. All of these beads and buttons were gifted to me in Happy Mail from various people. So if any of you guys recognise a certain button or, you know, these flower beads, then feel free to comment below. I couldn't tell you who sent me what. But I liked the fact that this was all sort of loose and higgledy-piggledy and boho-y. And a little heart charm, which looks black, but it's not. It's blue and sparkly. And then our little pentagram at the bottom. So let's have a look at our final result then. So inside we had this pocket in the front. I found some more bits of ephemera. Again, these are from the My Celtic journal kit, and I've just cut them into different shapes to go into the cover pocket here. Everything else is pretty much the same. There might be a couple of added bits here and there, but everything else should pretty much be the same as it was before. Another piece of artwork that I found in my stash. I think this is a lovely way to spend Imbolc. So if you're here watching this and you're pagan but you're not necessarily crafty, this is a really good way of working around your Sabbath. Okay, making a journal or doing some artwork for each of the Sabbaths is a brilliant way to connect with the energy of that time. I just love all of Natty's images. It's another piece of random artwork that I found somewhere in my stash. I have a habit of printing things out when I like something and sticking them in a drawer, and then I'll go back to it. Lots and lots of space for journaling. And although it's Imbolc today, and ideally you would have sort of had this before Imbolc to then write your Imbolc rituals and things in, it's still the perfect time to be making an Imbolc journal. You can make one today. It's perfectly fine. Because everything you've learnt over the last couple of weeks since the winter solstice will all fit in here. It's one of the ones that we made last time. It's a cute and fun little journal, and I'm really, really happy with it. This will be going up on the Etsy probably today or tomorrow, but likely today. So if you're interested in purchasing, go along and have a look. It's another one. I just added another one of my shrunken down journal pages and backed it. And we made that one last time as well. And there we go, guys. And just another couple of added bits of mine. All done and dusted. And now I've moved that to the side, the folio's fallen out. I mean, technically the folio would actually fit in the journal as well. There's enough space. Put that too far down. There's enough space in the spine itself here that you could add the folio if you wanted to. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed, guys. I'm sorry it's not a massively long video. I just wanted to split it into 3 because I'm aware that I tend to waffle on a little bit. All of the links for everything will be down below. So that's Natty+Moon's Imbolc kit. Her shop will be listed below, as well as the Facebook group where there's lots of freebies and things. My Etsy shop will be listed below. Keep an eye out for this going up, and several other journals going up. And my Facebook is down below as well. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day and a blessed Imbolc, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.